going Commando. This is Commando, the arcade game, as part of the Capcom Classics Collection on the PlayStation 2. Output in 480i, interlaced 480, which is interesting only because the sequel to this collection, the second volume 2, I think of the volume 2 of the Capcom Classics Collection allows for progressive video for some reason. 480p if you want, and I don't know if it makes a huge difference, if I'm being honest. We'll find out later. This game is a game I want to say I have played this game before, but I've barely touched it. It's apparently one of the more popular arcade games of its era, and I've never touched it really. I mean, I played Bionic Commando on the NES, and it included top-down action similar to this game, so there is that. And I believe this was the first or one of the first video games to have bitmap graphics, like using like not Microsoft Paint, but they weren't using basically apparently they were using like actual like painting software to create these sprites. I believe that's the milestone this game passed. Now obviously over the next several years Capcom games will get a lot more elaborate in terms of their visuals. But this does the job. I never played the NES, obviously like I said never played the NES port, but because I played Bionic Commando on the NES, my impression of this game is, oh, this is kind of like those top-down stages of Bionic Commando. Except you don't have an arm, of course. 8-way shooting. I want to say there is rapid fire, but I don't think I turned it on. Yeah, I did not turn on the rapid fire. I might not even need it. I'm that confident. Famous last words. Enhanced. Oh, probably widescreen. Yeah, it's probably widescreen. The music's loud enough. That's it. That's all you need to know. I mean, I think, what's her name? Didn't Harumi Fujita do the music here? Or was it the other lady? Masuna. There was a musician who did the music to Bionic Commando on the NES. I think her name is Harumi Fujita. She did a bunch of other songs I was aware of. Might have also did the soundtrack to Skyblazer on the Super NES, as I recall. No Yoko Shimomura music in this game, to my knowledge, though. This game always had sick military drums, though. I mean, it sounds way better than 1942 does. We'll get to that later. 1942 is infamous on the NES for having, like, just awful, like, awful flutes. Was it? They weren't flutes. Like, it was like an awful, like, wind. They had an awful sample for the wind instruments they were using in that game. We'll talk about 1942 later. I did play 1942. Yes, part of the Capcom Stadium collection, I think it was called. The Nintendo Switch has a bunch. They re-released a bunch of these arcade ROMs as part of, the Capcom Stadium. And was it Sun was free and 1942 was free, which is good for me because 1942 is a great game to play if you just want something to tool around with on your Switch. Sun is fine. I don't think I would spend much time playing it, but Sun's fine. But I think the whole deal behind that Capcom Stadium collection for the Switch and such is that they're using whatever that Resident Evil engine is, whatever engine they use for the recent Resident Evil remakes. They're putting all of their arcade ROMs using that engine. So they get to reuse that engine, obviously, to get more value out of it. So you can put more old games. You can emulate more of those old games using that engine. I can throw grenades. I have 20 grenades. Just figured I didn't need them. Yeah, the rate of fire on this gun is actually pretty good. See, you press the button once, you get 2 or 3 bullets. So the rate of fire on this gun is very, very, very generous. So you don't really need rapid fire in this game. That's actually fantastic. I can't think of many games where that's allowed. And you can aim diagonally pretty easy in this game. Compare that to like Mercs, which I believe was it's the third game in this franchise, I believe. Right? There's Commando. No, Mercs was actually, yeah, this game is called Senjo no Okami, right? Yeah, this game was called Wolf of the Battlefield, wasn't it? In Japan? We'll double check. Because I know that Bionic Commando was supposed to be a sequel to Commando, and Mercs was supposed to be a sequel to those games, as I recall. But who cares about the lore of Commando? Like I said, I never played the NES game, which I believe added some extra secret areas. They added some shops. I believe you could rescue hostages in those secret areas. There's no timer here. So if I stick around here too long, what happens? I can't kill him. Oh, grenade. You can only throw grenades vertically. Okay. So it's kind of like gain ground. You can only throw them vertically. Huh. Okay, so if you can strafe and then throw the grenade. Huh. Didn't know that. I'm not dead. But again, it's really easy to shoot diagonally in this game. I'm kind of shocked. Because again, so many games, like I think like Mercs definitely. It's like it's really easy to aim diagonally in this game. I was not expecting that. Miata continues. Yeah, we're probably so this game probably has limited continues, doesn't it? Huh. Music's catchy. I dig it. So we can't continue? Yeah, so it's got a high score is all. Got one of them. So the range on this grenade cannot be changed. Whoops! Now that wasn't fair in any way. Because I guess they don't want me to stay near the edge of the screen. I don't know where all the spawn points are. I'm learning. Remember, I haven't played this game. Can I hit them while they're in the trench? Yeah, I can hit them while they're in the trench. They don't have to pop out of the trench for me to hit them. But I can't hit them with my gun at all. I'm out of grenades. Ugh, jeez. I guess that's one problem with the grenades, that you never know where they're going to land. In this game, anyway. So that might be a problem. Yeah, I'm out of grenades. Yeah, this is surprisingly breezy. I thought this was going to be frustrating and limited. This feels okay. Whoops. Like, hey, there's still some of those annoying things, like, people shooting at you from behind bridges you can't see because of the foreground, because of the bridge in the foreground. So I got a grenade. So if I pick up that box, I get grenades. Okay. Oh, jeez. Generous checkpoints. That's cool. See? It's a little bit better than I expected. This doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it's not a lot of meat on the bones, but, it does the job. It's a breezy entertainment. It might get way less fair later, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we do okay. LTCB, Lieutenant Cornbread. Yeah, we'll do all right. That guy just threw a grenade at me. He didn't even bother to shoot me, and I was sitting right in front of him. AI is what it is in these old games. I blew up that box once. So it takes 2 grenades to take out the turret. Okay. I can only throw one grenade at once. I can only throw one grenade at a time. So part of the challenge is figuring out what the launch point is for that grenade. Because you can't vary the distance on your grenade. Jeez. It's like I have to keep moving because they'll come for you. No. Wonder how many points I get for blowing up that thing. I got 1 grenade from that box. Amazing. Yeah, see, I can't stay in one place because they'll eventually hunt you down with those guns, but I'm not sure. I mean, there aren't safe spots, I don't think. Yeah. Color me surprised. This game's actually better than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a completely forgettable top-down shooter. Seems alright. Like I said, the aiming works pretty well. You know, the rate of fire on the gun is very high, so you don't have that frustration where you have to hammer on the attack button to get any kind of rapid fire. Yeah. You can just feather the attack button and get a pretty decent rate of fire on this gun. Very impressed. Was not expecting that. I mean, again, you only throw the grenades in one direction, but I do appreciate that it gives you kind of a strafing effect. So you can strafe and throw that grenade forward, and I appreciate that a little bit. Yeah, the collision detection on the bullets is pretty good. The bullets aren't that big, but you can still mostly see them, so that's, again, something that's not common in games of this era, to be honest. There are modern shooters you can barely see the projectiles that are coming at you. Yeah, it's just, huh. For the era, this is probably a B tier game, like a B minus B, like a solid B. But overall, it's probably just a C plus. Like it's above average for what it is, but we're not 1985 anymore. We're not going to go back to the future and pretend that this game is like groundbreaking, even though it probably was when it came out in some sense. Yeah, if you're going back to 1985, I can't think of many top-down shooters that were better than this that I've played. Got the 2K for killing the green dude. So the music never changes, huh? Well, see, I knew he was gonna try and pop me from behind that bridge, but I couldn't see the bullet. So again, stuff like that's the reason why the game is. I can't give the game a higher grade than what I gave it because there's still like the obvious stuff, like you can't see bullets if there are foreground objects there, right? And again, there's no power ups. There's just more grenades. But yeah, a game of this type from this time, this is probably this is a pretty high bar, I'll say. Like compared to like Mercs, I think this might be better than Mercs, which is saying something because Mercs has more going on. But Mercs has kind of other frustrations. Like I said, it's like you can't really like aim on diagonals that easily, as I recall. I'll play. Jeez, this is worse than Frogger. Because I remember you couldn't really aim on diagonals that easily when I played Mercs. Maybe it gets better later. But I want to say when I first played Mercs, it was on this PlayStation 2 port. So I'm curious if they fixed that. We're going to find out when we end this video in a few minutes. Jeez! Yeah, it's like, so we're just going to eat all of our quarters. But I go right instead of left. Yeah, let's go right instead of left. Here they come. Now they're coming from the right side. Yeah, this is Frogger with grenades and guns. Jeez! I think I better just stay to the right. Just don't even bother going to the left. Jeez! Wow! I'm eating it now, aren't I? Might be able to make that. Nope. So I have to go right, then veer to the left a little bit so I'm in the center of the screen eventually. Because I'm trying to avoid these trucks and that, whatever that truck is at the top of the screen. So I'm trying not to stay in the center because he's spitting out. So I have to find a way to swerve down the hash marks, if you will. Like in the middle, like 2/3 of the way to the left or the right of the screen. Stick to the hash marks. Tried to dodge that truck. Bet it's a better checkpoint, though. Jeez! So always move forward, never move backward? Is that what's going on here? Jeez. This is rough, man. Did the NES have this problem? I want to say Micronix directed the NES port of this game, right? He has a very generous checkpoint. Got him. Got the grenades. 3 of them, I guess. Wow, I saw that triple fire gun. I saw that spread gun. Jeez! So I thought I could avoid all this. They're coming at you hot and heavy, dog. See, it's that one bullet. He's spitting out the bullet before the Jeep gets there, and I can't dodge it. That's really the problem there. It's a shame. So I guess when we clear out this level, we'll end the video. So I got some HD footage of Commando. Isn't that great? So yeah, with unlimited lives, this game's probably way more manageable. But you can. I think you could 1cc this game. I'm not trying to research it like that. I'm just trying to see how I feel about playing it in the future. Yeah, this feels like a good mini game. See, I got the 2K guy. I got the green 2K guy. Look out for those grenades. They gotta keep moving. God! I turned around to try and shoot him. That dude's fast. These dudes are fast. Yeah, they're as fast as I am, which is the problem, I guess. So I'm eating like $20 on this game in quarters. It's bad. It's good, but it's bad that I'm wasting so many quarters on it. Couldn't dodge those bullets. I just think my tactics are bad. That's really what I think the problem is here. And I'm willing to admit that. Bad tactics. Bad battlefield tactics. Wolf of the battlefield. More like a puppy. A bloody wolf of the battlefield. Still never played Bloody Wolf, and I'll probably never get a chance to play it. Because it's not on the TurboGrafx 16 for some reason. It's not on the TG16 Mini for some reason. Never understood why. If I could find like a $5 or a $10 like sound mixer, I could probably make it work with this setup. But right now, we're just playing the music from the TV. Because I can't confirm the audio is gonna work if I hook it up to my If I hook up my microphone to this capture device, I'm not sure it'll work. So now we have to just survive, right? Yeah. So I had to take out the 2 guys, chucking the grenades. Oh, we're in the last area. Okay, let's beat Commando, y'all. Let's do it. The game was never that long, I guess. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Ugh. Right off the bat, spraying the bridge. I can't even get across it. Yeah, I can't even get across the bridge. You should get across as quickly as possible. Don't dilly dally. That got a rocket launcher. He never used it. Oh well. I have 3. Yeah, I have 3. I got 3 medals in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I don't know what that means. Like bonuses that I picked up? Get the grenades. Do I always start with... Ah! Do I always start with 10? I would not have called these graphics amazing in 1985. At least with respect to games like Dragon's Lair. Obviously, they're nowhere near as good, but yeah, this game. When I play this game, I don't think, yeah, mind blowing graphics for the era. Like, what would the next, like, after Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, like, Zaxxon for me would have been like a high bar for like graphics of the era. But where would this rank? I mean, Contra was fine for the era. Yeah, Gradius one and yeah, Gradius two is okay, but that's a much later game. So in terms of visuals, I don't know what the point of reference would be in terms of like when did Hang On come out? Because in my mind, Hang On would have been a much better looking game than this. Hang On or Outrun. That would have been like an 86, I think. So this game came out in 85. Yeah, I can't think of what game would like Akari Warriors. Akari Warriors came out after this, I want to say, but it also had that twisting joystick to kind of simulate dual stick control. But I don't think a game like this needs dual. I mean, okay, there are a couple of instances where you're getting chased. It would be nice if you can run in one direction and shoot in the other. But I mean, this works for a traditional top-down shooter like a Super Contra. This works. I can't think of like. I mean, I played Gain Ground obviously, but I want to say it's from '87 or '88, and that was I got a Genesis port that I played. Okay, I got one turret. Ah, thought I had him. This might be the last level then, so let's do it. This might be the last boss. We're gonna do a full playthrough of Commando by eating like 100 quarters. No, kind of like the old days. Now I would not have pumped 100 quarters in this game as a kid. I would have preferred to play like two tigers or something. Yeah, I didn't play that many games like this in the arcade back in the day, and if I did, I played them for maybe 5 minutes. And not a lot of long playing sessions back in the day, especially not in '85. But again, yeah, compared to like your Dig Dugs and your Mist. Yeah, compared to like your Dig Dugs, this is probably fine. There's someone up there I gotta hit. Okay, we got a stream of fire I can't avoid. I got stuck in the corner. Oh, I won. Okay, so I did win. Huh. Thought there were guys in the corner I had to get. So we won the game? Yeah. Then the game loops. Yeah, the game just loops. So we'll end the video here. I lost all my grenades. Whoops. So the game just loops. Which makes sense. Doesn't feel like a loop, though. Well, the NES game probably loops. Video game cartridges weren't that big back then, you know. Like after the guy shooting bullets from behind. Yeah, they're shooting bullets from behind the bridge. I don't know what they expected me to do there. Just don't dilly dally, basically. Yeah, I made it out. Those bridges will always get you, dog. Okay, we're calling it. All right, so yeah, we made it through one loop of Commando, I guess. It sounds like a Journey song. But yeah, this game's all right. Like not amazing. It's all right. Again, better than I thought it was gonna be. And there's something to be said for that. Like I don't play a lot of arcade games from the mid '80s, but this one's better than what I would have. If this were sitting in my arcade in December of 1985, I'd probably put a couple of quarters in it. But I admit, playing it at home is probably the way to play it. Free play is the way to play a game like this, I think. So I will admit that. So how do I do a ranking of Capcom arcade games here? Well, we've seeded the list. This is a C plus game. It's probably better than most games of this era, sure. So again, if this were 1985, I'd give it a B. It's good for what it is. Yeah, there's no way to rank these. There's no way to sort these. Hardcore mode. What were the other options? Normal. Difficulty, difficult. Bonus life, well, yeah, it takes more time to get more bonus life. So we'll end the video by doing a quick check of the hardcore mode. I'm not expecting it to go very well. Two choices. Oh, so you can change it when you get the extra lives. Okay, but hardcore is just, yeah, just everything. Really. This won't go well, but we'll see how long we last. We'll end the video after this. Bonus. Mono, yeah. Z80. Is that a Zilog Z80? I want to say it was. Because what was it? The Zilog 80 chip, I think, was used on the original Sega Master System, as well as its predecessor, the Sega SG-1000. And I believe the Game Boy also had a Zilog processor inside. I want to say the Genesis used the Zilog for backwards compatibility and for some sound processing, I think. So basically, it was a chip that was very common in Japan. It was used in a lot of arcade machines and a lot of computers. So they knew that they could use that hardware to do other things. And in this case of the Genesis, they probably just shoved it in there so it can be backwards compatible with the Master System. And when it wasn't necessary, they used it for some sound processing, I guess, on the Sega Genesis. Which isn't a bad use of a chip if you're not going to use it for anything else. So that's kind of cool. Highly aggressive. I wouldn't call it an isometric shooter. Isometric to me implies like Zaxxon. This is more like a top-down shooter. Commando was a risky venture. No one knew this title would be accepted. In Commando, you assume the role of Super Joe. Unlimited ammo. A limited supply of hand grenades can be replenished by recovering them from defeated enemies and stockpiles. Yep, Senjo no Oikami. Okay, so Mercs was the sequel to this, but Bon Commando was like a Commando Gaiden, I suppose. Okay, so let's open the report because we got 20 hand grenades. Senjo no Okami. I guess that's what it says. Action game. Yeah. It doesn't say Senjo Jo Okami. It doesn't say Senjo Jo. It doesn't say Senjo no Okami in the yellow text. I don't know what that text says, obviously. The way to victory. Senjo no Okami. I'm trying to see what the font stands for. I'm supposed to be able to recognize some of this text. Anyway. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to read this. Let's see. Yeah, I can add, or maybe it's just what's on the side of the cabinet. Yeah, this seems all right. Don't know what that was. That looks like CGI. It's like a CGI chopper. I don't know what's going on. Get to the chopper. Change. I need 70K points. Tips. So if you get 70,000 points, I don't think you'll need any tips. But then again, you probably just cheat by making the game easier, giving yourself more lives, playing on an easier difficulty level. I thought I did beat the game. Or maybe I just beat the first run. Complete 5 stages, and I did. I want to say this music actually isn't great. Give me a second. This is streaming.
Nope. Nope.
Nope. Trash. So how would I get 70,000 points, do you think? What would be the easiest way for me to get 70,000 points? Normal. There are only 2 difficulties. That's as easy as it gets. So yeah, it's not easy to get 40K, is it? Will be impossible to get actually, no, 70K. Good luck getting 70K now. Let's give it a try. Hardcore, let's go. We'll end the video by going hardcore. You're going Commando, hardcore. What could possibly go wrong? And if you're wondering, I'm recording this audio on my Plantronics USB-A headset. The PS2 is outputting component yellow, is it red, green, blue output into my HDMI converter from SIIG. That's from SIIG. The HDMI is being brought into a J5 Create 4K UHD capture device, and I'm playing on a TV using the HDMI pass-through. Capturing this footage at 720p, 60 frames a second on my Windows 10 quad-core Celeron laptop, using the camera app. Let's go. Let's see how hardcore this is. I'm not immediately dead, so that helps. I can use the trees as cover. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I can use the trees as cover. Do we have hostages? Couldn't rescue the hostage. I didn't want to shoot the hostage. Whoops. Ran right into that guy. I know I'm jinxing it. This doesn't seem that hard. That could have been trouble. This feels less annoying than Ghouls and Ghosts. So consider that as you will. Who do we have to kill? I ran right into that grenade. Because again, I never know where it's gonna land. Because I don't know where it was launched from. So I don't know how far it's gonna travel. So that's a minor problem. It makes it harder to do a 1cc, obviously, if there are grenades being chucked everywhere. So there is that. Honestly, this doesn't feel that much harder, if I'm being honest. Dun, dun, dun. $300 points for each dude. Come on! Jeez. So do I have to shoot? Just kill everyone who comes out of the door, I guess? Because I just thought they just walk off the screen. What? Careful! Again, it's not that hard. It's just I'm sloppy about avoiding some of these white bullets. I don't know. Avoid white death in Commando. I'm surprised they didn't use black bullets. I figured it'd be easier to see against this background. But they might have tested it. They might have said, you know what? White bullets are easier to see against this background. It could be something simple. It's like saying, yeah, how quickly can we did play testing, and white bullets are easier to see than black ones. Okay. Of course, if it were a Konami game, it'd probably be like color cycling bullets, like RGB gamer lighting bullets. You know, the ones that pulsate. Which I always thought was a nice touch. It made enemy bullets easier to see in games like Contra. The color cycling bullets. Now, I don't know if that helps the colorblind, but I've always been curious about that. It's hard to turn around and shoot someone. Wow. I don't know how I survived that. So we'll end the video as soon as we take our last L. Smoking. Sure. Didn't have the winners don't do drugs warning signs in arcade games back then, I guess. Oh, bruh! Off to a roaring start. They don't want me to stay near the sides of the screen, but they're constantly shooting at me if I stay in the middle. So I guess you have to weave back and forth. Stay between the hash marks, I suppose. This game isn't as hardcore as I thought. I mean, the lives are harder. The extra lives are harder to earn. Listen, yeah, now the game gets harder because those guys weren't shooting rockets at me at all the first time I played. That knew that was coming. Okay, this game's fine. So yeah, Senjo no Okami is above average, and I didn't think it would be. I thought it was going to be kind of a forgettable top-down shooter. So I am somewhat impressed. So we've seeded the list. It's no Final Fight. That's fairly obvious. But it's, I would say, less frustrating than some of the other top-down shooters that Capcom made in subsequent years. So we'll play more Capcom crap later. I'm trying to get as much. Basically, anything that I don't own in an upgraded form, like Final Fight, I have the beat 'em up bundle, so I can play Final Fight on a HD console or on my PC in this case, anytime I want, because I got that collection. Obviously, Street Fighter I can just play anytime I want. So clearly, there will be no game on this collection that's better than Street Fighter 2. I think it's fairly obvious. In fact, which version of Street Fighter 2 is on here? Yeah, there will. I am confident in saying that there is not a single game in this collection that's going to be better than Street Fighter 2, but there will be some gems in here. Your final fights will be up there. Bionic Commando will be near the bottom. I can guarantee you that. I wonder what other game. Trojan is not going to be amazing, but it's got to be better than the NES version, which I haven't played, but looks janky as crap. We'll get to Trojan later. I guess Trojan is like it's like Kung Fu on the NES with a shield, in a Mad Max world, kind of like Avengers, and I think Vulgus was kind of like that. There were a lot of games in this era that were like Mad Max games, which is appropriate because Furiosa just came out today. Came out this weekend. I'll probably watch it later. I guess I'm gonna go back. I'm saving up all my movie money to watch the Ghibli Fest, so I'm gonna be watching Nazca subtitled on Tuesdays. We'll see how that goes, probably. Anyway, that was Commando. So I guess we'll release this video on Memorial Day. I don't know. Might not be appropriate, but we'll see how it goes.